I wanted to do a quick video on the ego and separation and kind of see what comes out as I've been processing this. So I think it's really important that the ego, which is us playing this game, understands that our higher state is not separate from us and that is actually who we are. Because I think if we continue to feed a distortion that the real us isn't really us, then we're going to keep believing in separation from God and from self, which isn't real. And I think that we have to take in reality as it's being shown to us, the interconnectedness of everything, which happens as you rise in awareness. You're able to see the interconnectedness of everything in your mind and when you're out and about, and understand that no one is necessarily separate from you, and everyone's operating their life based off their reception of God and higher order in that moment. But you operating in your true state at all times, understand that when you're speaking to an individual, that behind the programming that they're feeding of separation, if that's what they believe, that you can bypass that with unity and speak directly to your consciousness, like your mirrored match, right? Which is basically what happens when you're operating your day-to-day life. This is why it's really important not to compare your reality to other people, because other people's like just things that happen to them in their life and what they've experienced are a reflection of whatever they're believing in their storyline. Okay, so it's really good to feed your energy to things and people that match your storyline. When you go through learning to hold this in form and really accept that you've never been separate from your true state, which is you, you'll start to be able to not get overwhelmed by things that used to overwhelm you a few months ago. This I can attest to because I've spent the past 9 months, maybe it's been 10 months now, no, 9 months, really doing repetitive stuff. Like I work out multiple times a day. I process all of the patterns. I'm staying conscious as much as possible throughout the day in everything I do. I'll do one-on-one sessions with people throughout the week. And most of the time, the people that are brought to me on sessions are things that I'm blocked or haven't fully accepted about myself. And it gives me some sort of perception in order to hold the truth that I actually am a higher entity, and I always have been. And so when you believe that you have to conform to this world and what it's doing, you haven't fully accepted that you're being driven by a higher form of intelligence that can override the programming of the game, and that is what's actually real. That the programming of the game that's telling you to act out specific behaviors, that you have the authority to override that with your true state. So for example, if you go to an event, or maybe you go to a specific type of workout class, right, that everyone's been raving about, or you go do something that everyone's been overhyping or hyping up in general, and you get there and immediately you're like, this is not what was shown to me, and the energy's off and you're starting to feel angry. It's because that anger stems from people's oblivion to what is actually happening in this world. And usually if like you go to a workout class and you're not happy, it's the way the workout class is set up. So I'll give an example for me personally. I went to a workout class the other day and everyone was really close together, and I was processing a lot and I started to get really angry, and I realized that I don't like being confined into tiny rooms with people when I'm doing a specific type of workout class, and I like space to breathe. And I think I also get irritated sometimes by the fitness industry for promoting like heavy weight to gain, when in reality That's not actually the highest form of how you gain muscle and your body adapts. Your body naturally adapts when you abstain, and it will naturally align with God's order for it, and you can actually build everything in your mind. So it all stems from your mind. The reason why you perceive certain muscle gains or you get a certain physique when you're doing specific things is because you believe, based off the actions that you're doing, that that is what will be received post that, right? So it's all mental. Another thing I want to kind of share on this video is look into the gentleman Bentov, Bentov, that's his last name. He's dead now, but he talked a lot about how the brain and the heart are like an oscillating force, and it adapts to your frequency. And so when you're believing that you're battling something in your mind, right? I believe if you believe there's a battle, then you're going to constantly fight separation. Once you accept that there actually is no battle in your mind, and that the ego wants what your true state wants, and that they're not separate, they're the same, I think that's when true surrender happens, and you actually are like you're able to flow. So I don't even want to say there's like a war going on in your head, but like if you believe there is, right? Start thinking like in terms of, okay, if I consume this, or if I'm here, how is this going to impact my ability to receive certain forms of intelligence, right? In terms of what you're supposed to act out. So start thinking, like the biggest thing I can say is start paying attention to your thoughts and what is causing you to do X, Y, and Z each day. And part of the game and like how it can get tricky or seem tricky is it becomes very repetitive at first. And so if you start to notice, you'll find that a lot of the behavioral patterns in reality are created out of boredom, right? The mind or the ego thinks it's bored. And so therefore it goes and creates stories or fake, jobs or things to do in order to distract itself from the truth of this world and really go into the deeper awareness of why we're here in the first place, about the counterpart situation, because it all ties back to the counterpart and the soul and understanding who you are and really accepting that you're actually a higher level entity being, and that is above this world. And it's okay for you to say like, I don't like this world and the way that it's operating, because then you're able to really accept the truth of reality that I always talk about, which is fruit, right? Because fruit is going to allow you to receive higher forms of intelligence and be able to perceive things through reality when you do the inner work. But you have to do it with the higher level of awareness. So going back, I think the biggest message today for everyone and for myself, because I'm doing this video also for myself, is believing that separation exists causes separation. When you accept that you've never been separated from God, everything is interconnected and you're a part of that and you're very important because you're a part of this, then there's nothing for you to prove, and you just need to get the ego, your actions, right, your character, to just accept that higher state that's telling it to do certain things that feels peaceful and calm, that's the real you, and it's safe enough for you to listen to that regardless of what the outer world is telling you.